Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're talking about a tech giant everyone thinks they know, Adobe. Now, with the explosion of generative AI, a lot of people are betting against them. But what if the market has it completely wrong? What if this whole moment of fear is actually creating a massive investment opportunity?
I mean, you've seen it, right? You see these incredible images generated from just a simple text prompt by these new, powerful AI tools. And it's super easy to jump to one conclusion. The game is up for Adobe. A lot of people believe this is the beginning of the end for their dominance in creative software. But if you dig a little deeper into the data and Adobe's strategy, the story looks completely different. What if generative AI isn't the threat that's going to tear down their castle? What if it's the very thing they're using to build their strongest moat ever? Let's break down how. Okay, so to understand the opportunity, we first have to understand the fear. What exactly has investors so spooked about Adobe's future? Well, it really boils down to two powerful narratives, two big stories that are going around. First, there's the fear of commoditization. The worry here is that all these cheap, powerful AI models will just turn creative tools into a low-margin commodity, absolutely crushing Adobe's pricing power. And the second fear? It's even bigger. Seat contraction. The idea is, if AI makes one designer 10 times more productive, are companies just going to, well, buy fewer Adobe licenses?
So that's the bear case, right? And you've got to admit, it sounds pretty compelling. But it overlooks three fundamental strengths that Adobe is using to turn this whole threat into a massive advantage. Let's get into Adobe's defense.
The counterargument is built on these three pillars. First, something absolutely crucial that big companies demand: commercial safety. Second, Adobe's proven ability to actually make money from AI, not lose it. And third, what might be their secret weapon, an all-in-one integrated platform that competitors, well, they just can't replicate it. Let's start with risk. For a hobbyist, using an AI model trained on some questionable stuff from the internet, it's fine. But for a Fortune 500 company, no way. That's a legal nightmare just waiting to happen. And this is where Adobe has a huge advantage. Their AI, Firefly, is trained on their own licensed stock library. And this is the really crucial part, they legally indemnify their enterprise customers. Basically, Adobe takes on the risk so their clients don't have to.
So how's that strategy working out?
Well, Adobe has become the safe, approved gateway for big business to get into generative AI. An incredible 90% of their top 50 enterprise clients are already on board. This isn't just a theory. This is happening right now. Okay, let's move on to the second pillar and see how this all connects: monetization. Far from the fear of prices crashing, Adobe's AI features are a powerful new engine for growth. AI-driven products are already pulling in over $5 billion in annual recurring revenue. That's not some small side project. That is a massive, thriving business. And what's really important is this AI growth isn't cannibalizing their core business. The digital media segment, the heart of the company, it's still growing at a really healthy clip. This proves AI is a powerful addition to an already thriving foundation, not some desperate patch on a sinking ship. And all this brings us to the final, and maybe the most important pillar of all, the ecosystem. See, enterprises don't just need to create an image, they have to manage it, personalize it, deliver it, and then analyze how it did. Adobe offers that entire pipeline, that whole supply chain, in one integrated platform. Competitors might have a great tool for one piece of this puzzle, but nobody else offers the whole system, and now it's all supercharged with AI. This is an ecosystem war, not a tool war. This isn't the first time Adobe has stared down a massive industry shift. Their history shows a real pattern of making bold, successful transformations. And the financial data we're seeing right now proves they are pulling off this AI pivot with incredible precision. Remember 2013? The market panicked when Adobe ditched selling software in boxes for a subscription model. It was a painful transition, for sure. But ultimately, it wiped out piracy and created this incredibly stable, recurring revenue stream. We're seeing that same DNA at work today as they pivot again, from just being a suite of tools to becoming a unified AI-native platform. And the numbers, well, they don't lie. Even while they're making these massive investments in AI, they're maintaining a jaw-dropping 46% operating profit margin. That shows incredible financial discipline and proves their core business is more than profitable enough to fund its own evolution. Okay, so this all leads to a massive disconnect. On one hand, you have the market's scary story. On the other, you have the reality of Adobe's super strong fundamentals. And that gap has pushed the company's valuation down to what this analysis is calling a historic opportunity.
Take a good look at this chart. Adobe is currently trading at a forward price-to-earnings ratio of just over 19. That is a massive discount compared to a peer like Microsoft at nearly 34, and it's less than half of Adobe's own 5-year average of around 40. I mean, the valuation is basically sitting in the bargain bin.
It really seems like the market has priced in all of the risk, but none of the reward. With a PE ratio, that's the PE ratio divided by the growth rate, of just 1.13, the stock looks incredibly attractive for a company that's projected to grow earnings by 12 to 14%. It just suggests the price is cheap relative to its future growth.
Okay, let's pull all these threads together. Let's get to one clear, concise investment thesis. What is the key takeaway from all of this data?
Here it is. The market is laser-focused on the myths, this fear of commoditization and shrinking user bases. But it's completely ignoring the fundamental reality. Adobe has built a powerful moat with commercial safety, it is already successfully making money from AI, and it has an integrated ecosystem that is nearly impossible for anyone else to replicate. So based on all this, the strategy is a buy rating. The price target is set at $519, which from its current price represents a potential upside of nearly 60%. And you're going to want to watch for several key events on the horizon, including their next earnings report, the full commercial rollout of their Firefly video product, and any news on that FTC lawsuit.
This leaves us with one final provocative question. The evidence strongly suggests that Adobe isn't a victim of generative AI, but its master, turning a massive disruption into its greatest competitive advantage. Yet, its valuation is sitting near a historical low. This is one of the biggest disconnects on the market today, and the only question left is, how long will it take for everyone else to see it?